the show theme music. What's going on, Dave?
Not too much, believe it or not.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And Happy New Year to all of you who are watching.
Happy New Year to you guys. Did you guys recover from a late night? Did you have a late night?
I fell asleep. I messaged you on your New Year, and then I fell asleep. So I'm an hour behind you.
That's right. You know. I woke up at 11:57 and said, "Oh my God, I got to do something." So I ran in there, turned the TV on, watched the ball drop, said Happy New Year to myself, went back, got back in bed. This is, I'm too old.
Yeah, I was actually by myself too. My son wasn't feeling well, so he came home a little bit early from camp, and he had just terrible congestion and just feeling terrible. So
that's right. You guys had winter camp.
Winter camp.
I want to talk about that. I want you to tell us all about that. It's my sons got back from their week-long trek to Cyprus, and Ryan and they separated in I think they separated in London. One flew, they separated in Chicago. One flew back towards Charlotte and Raleigh, and Ryan was coming back here and had to fly over us and go to Miami in order to turn around and come back. And no one told him that you needed to check your bags again coming into the country. So he gets here bagless.
Oh.
So he looks at his air tag for his luggage, and his luggage is in London. You live and learn, but it's on its way. So we're working it out.
That's good. That's good. Now, speaking of where are you, we want you to tell us where you are in the comments.
Yeah, tell us in the comments, you guys. Leave us a comment. Tell us where you're watching us from.
And this is an unusual thing, right? So actually I need to open up TikTok because we are also broadcasting on TikTok and we're broadcasting on Facebook.
How about that? We're broadcasting live on Facebook?
We are live on Facebook, and we are live.
You know what? People know us on Facebook.
People do know us on Facebook. That's because we're old, Henry.
I know. But I keep thinking that today's 30-year-old is tomorrow's Facebook user. So
yeah, that sounds good to me.
They're growing into our demographic.
Yeah.
So tell us what did you do for your New Year? Tell us what you did.
I did almost nothing because my son was sick and I stayed home with him. But then today I got kind of busy. I had some things I needed to do. I needed to make the graphic for tonight. And me and GPT had a fight.
I heard about your fight with GPT. I have fights with GPT all the time. I
mean, when it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it is annoying. It drives me nuts.
Do you feel like, I mean, if you're users like us and you understand their personality and you know what you usually get back from them, and when it doesn't happen, it's like a child. You start yelling at it.
I didn't yell, but I did say, this is getting very frustrating. And it's like, explain to me why you can't do what I'm asking you to do.
Don't you love it when it comes back and says, I can understand your frustration.
Yeah, I could see why that's frustrating.
Yeah, well, you're frustrated.
You see why, but you still haven't done it. And so what I was trying to do is I was trying to make a correct thumbnail for YouTube. And the graphic that we use to promote the show and the one that's up there when we're not live, that's very important, right? So
Yeah.
I had it make
And it
it made this
changes.
right. It changes, and I made this really nice. Uh, you know, it. I didn't make Jack. GPT made this really nice. Uh, New Year's night placard for us and everything. It looked good.
Now 16 by 9.
It wasn't 16:9.
Oh, come on.
So I said to ChatGPT, I was like, all right, I need this to be 1920 by 1080. That's the real resolution for
Right.
1080p. And it was like, sure. And then it pumped out the same image, which was 1530 by 1240 or something, or 1040, which is like a 1.5 ratio. So it's just not quite
Yeah.
right. It's a little taller than it should be for 16:9 ratio. And
I bet I could guess what
you
it was doing too.
it was using the only resolution that it is allowed to use, basically. It was like, I can't quite make it exactly like so and so or whatever. I was like, all right,
Holding
what if you
on to one
move
before it, holding on to something it had done before. God.
6 times before I finally was like, screw this, I will crop it myself. And then I
Right.
said, what if you put the graphics, which I do like, in the middle and give me a little bit of extra around the outsides? Just make it a little bit wider, right?
Right.
That way, if I do have to crop it, it's no big
You
deal,
got room.
and got room. It's like, okay, I could do that. So it output the exact same thing, but then it added, and I said no letterboxing, because
You
I
shouldn't have said it.
knew it was going to try that. So what did it
Mhm.
do? It put a letterbox on both
Mhm.
sides of a nice little blur. It's like, this looks like I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I guess I don't, because I can't convince ChatGPT to do what I want.
The worst one, I think the worst one I think is Gemini. Gemini is a good solid model, and
My
it'll
wife
generate
loves
nice.
Gemini. She
It'll
loves
generate
Gemini.
nice images. It's all of that. But if you like, I put in our group logo, and it has a huge white border around it, and I wanted to use it on our website as a favicon.
Uh-huh.
And I said,
Oh.
I
No.
said, make this. I said, make this a transparency. And I thought ahead. I said, just get rid of the white around the brown, and that's it. And it generated, of course, everything is transparent with uh, some weird wreath that I didn't ask for. I said,
What?
okay, I understand. Um, here's the image again. Here's what I want to do. Do that again. Exact same thing. You can't.
Oh.
It won't come away from what you generated before. Or if you say, um, let's go in a whole different direction. I want some graphic that I can put at the top of a recipe card. It'll generate your logo again. So you got to go to a whole new chat, start a whole new conversation, and get it done. But here
Come
we are
on.
complaining about something that took us an hour to do, maybe, and we're
Oh,
frustrated. But
right.
had it been 3 years ago, it would have taken a
Hours.
studio of
Yeah.
people. I
Yeah.
had someone tell
Yeah.
me the other day. She goes, Henry, you use AI for some of your graphics, don't you? And I go, yeah, because my crayon is broken. I'm not an artist. I don't have an art department. I don't have voiceover capabilities. I don't have studio for any of that sort of thing. But if I want to communicate an idea, I either use what's available to me to do that. So I'm hoping people just forget the messenger and listen to the message, kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a tool, but it's a frustrating tool. But if you don't know what you're doing, I tell people, especially young people, all the time, I said the most important thing you can do right now is to become AI literate. At
Yes.
least understand what it's capable of. And what I hear people say all the time is, well, I'm going to look into it, or either I'm going to see what I can learn, or I don't have
Just
time to
do it.
learn anything. But there's nothing to learn. If you open it and say, hey, chat, I don't know what I'm doing. My name's Henry. I have no idea what I'm doing. How can you help me? What would I use you for?
It will train you.
It will train you. And what I find, because I used to teach it on the side, just kind of coach people on the side.
Right.
And what I find is if you talk to it, it's much better, because it's a language model after all, right?
Oh, that's true. That's true. And
And
it can sort of interpret your tone and things like that too.
yeah. As a matter of fact, I heard the other day that one of Google's models can diagnose illness based on your voice.
Interesting.
So after it has learned your voice and has learned your nuance, it can diagnose different conditions based on your voice. And that's
right. So like if you normally sound a certain way and then one day you sound very nasally, or you sound, super bassy or whatever.
How you
So
feeling?
it's like, yeah, how you feeling? You got a cold there, buddy?
And
That's really interesting. I mean, when I hear one of my children or my wife sounds a little off,
you
I
can
probably
tell,
will say, hey, you feeling okay?
right? It's also a good tool for brainstorming. If you don't have somebody to bounce something off of,
Right.
just talk.
You always have somebody to bounce things off of.
Yeah, I know.
You're talking
You
to
get
him
sick of
right
that.
now.
Yeah, I'm like, Dave, take a look at this. Dave says, I'm in the woods. I can't do it right now. Well,
That happens a lot, actually.
it happens a lot. Yeah. I'm in the car. I can talk. And I go, well, can't talk.
I need you to look at this code. Really?
Dave, do you have the password for GoDaddy?
I do, but I can't
many
give it
times
to
we
you
go
over
through
the
that?
phone. Yeah, so many.
But a
That's
lot of
part
people,
of working. That's part of working together.
and you and I work a lot together,
We
like
do.
with tech stuff. And
Yep.
I don't think most people have a clue about what goes on behind the scenes, what you and I actually do
Yeah.
to bring some of this stuff to life. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. They have no idea. The number of hours and late nights and what if we did this and all of the brainstorming sessions and analysis and or like me looking at what you output and you're like, you think everything's perfect. And then I find that one thing like I did today,
Yep.
the
Henry,
curly brackets.
I found something and I've worked on it for 2 hours thinking I know Dave's going to find something or Cheryl's going to find something.
Every time.
And every single time, because you're too close to it. You can't see it.
Speaking of Cheryl, today's her birthday.
Happy birthday, Cheryl. Yeah, it is birthday. What a sweetheart she is.
Yep. Yeah.
And if you guys don't know, Cheryl's one of our admin at Baking Great Bread at Home. She's an incredible baker, and she's a much, much better person.
And she has nice buns.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that. I can't get away with that. No, I'm glad you said it.
Every time Cheryl posts pictures of like hamburger buns or rolls or something buns,
she does do good rolls.
I always say nice buns.
I know she gets a kick out of it.
She does.
So
for her birthday today in the chat, in the behind the scenes chat, did you see I posted a picture of buns that I made?
I did.
Thinking of you today on your birthday, Cheryl.
Cheryl's usually the one.
She replied, "Nice buns."
She's usually the one that tells me, "Hey, remember you got a birthday of so and so's birthday's tomorrow, or so and so's birtdays today."
Bet she didn't mention hers, did she?
She didn't mention hers at all.
Of course not.
And that's typical of Cheryl. Anytime I want to give her credit,
she's very humble. She's so humble. That's what it's about.
She's very humble. Like Midwest distilled is Cheryl. She's unassuming, doesn't want any of the credit, and does so much. Uh, she's gonna be mad about this.
No, she's not.
She
You
doesn't.
get,
As
who's
soon
gonna
as
be
she sees
mad
you,
if
she's
somebody
gonna
said happy
talk
birthday?
about
We didn't make
happy
her.
birthday,
We did,
Cheryl.
I think we've mentioned Cheryl in almost every episode, except for the one where you weren't here. You want to explain yourself, sir? Why? Where were you?
I was exhausted. I was worn out. I had this pain going in my back. I took something for it, and I'm a wuss when it comes to drinking and medicine. And the next
Hmm.
thing I knew, I was nodding. And then you and I talked, and I think I was in bed, and I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'll be there." And
Mhm.
I rolled over, and it was over with. But I heard you
Well,
handle things, and you handle things well. You don't need me.
I did all right. I did all right. It was a little dicey there for the first like 10 or 15 minutes when I had nobody. And then Kathy showed up and Christina showed up and then Steve showed up kind of later in the episode. And
Steve's good too.
we had a lot of chats and we had fun. But you know what? It's
What's that?
curious that
Uh-oh.
you had a sore back and felt like you needed a lot of sleep on Christmas Day. Could you be Black Santa?
I don't care what the white man say. Santa Claus is a black man. My dad used to sing that song all the time. Yeah, I could have been Black Santa that day. It
Mhm.
was a lot going on that day. I'm sorry to leave you alone.
It's
I wanted
okay.
to let's talk
I
about
made
the
it.
let's talk about the website for a minute because you're the website guru.
Okay.
And one of the things when we post when we post a recipe or a blog post in the group,
Yeah.
what goes into that? What goes into creating that and putting that out?
Well, you're still using WP Recipe Maker, right?
I'm using two
Sort
things.
of. Sort of.
I'm using WordPress and I'm using the website I built. So I got to
Okay.
do it twice.
So I know what I do is I have to basically I write the recipe and then I actually have ChatGPT turn it into what's called JSON, which is a database language, and
Nice format. It's not going
good
anywhere.
format, good format. And I use JSON to format it correctly to put on my WP Recipe Maker, which is a plugin for WordPress. WP stands for WordPress.
Right.
And then I have to write. I have to make sure the picture is right, and then I do a post and include the recipe, which is actually a standalone little thing. Oops.
That's your fingers. You did this.
You're right. I did. I had no idea it was coming in for a close up. Sorry about that. That's what happens when I mess with the AI camera.
Yeah,
Get me
he's getting
sometimes.
fancy on this, guys. He's got all this
Watch
equipment
this.
out
Watch
now.
this.
Look at that.
Oh, it's like I got a.
You know what happens when I move?
Camera crew. Nothing. You leave the frame.
Nothing. So you and I have the same process, right? So we
Right.
will. For me, generally, it comes 9 times out of 10. I'm answering a question from a member, and I go, let me think about this, and I write an answer, and everybody knows I'm long-winded to begin with, and I'll turn it into a blog post if I think more people would benefit from it.
You'll turn it
So
into a book.
I know, and nobody wants to read all that stuff. I know. So I turn it into a blog post. So when you write a blog post, and then you have to write the recipe, and you put the recipe in WordPress Recipe Maker, like you were saying,
Yeah.
and it's a plugin, and it drops it into the blog post. And you're not done there
No,
because
you are
now
not.
you've got an image that you need to put in there so people will understand what you're baking, what you're talking about.
And it needs to be formatted so it shows up on Facebook correctly, which is one of the problems that I had with this image before.
Huge problem. And so that's called your featured image, right? And your featured image, you need to write alt text for it to describe what the image is for people who are visually impaired. And it helps Google to find you. A title, a description, and this is for every image you include: alt text, title, caption, and description. You put that in, and then now you got to worry about metadata. What's your meta description? What are your meta tags? What are your tags? What are your focus key phrases? All of these things to describe your blog post.
And that's called SEO for you guys that you probably have seen that before. Search engine optimization is what SEO stands for. It's very, very important.
Hugely important. It helps you rank higher on Google. So if you're searching for baguette recipe, who's going to show up in that top tier? Who's going to show up?
The one with the best description and the best keywords in the background. You don't see any of that metadata.
No, so you don't see any of it.
So in a website, I don't know if you even know this, Henry, in a website, in the HTML at the top in the heading is where the metadata is. And it's all in the background. So like you never see those words that you type on your website. Now, the words that you type on your website are important too. But if the description and the tags match the content properly, and the title, that is equally important.
Right.
So the things that you don't see are actually probably more important than the things that you do see as far as search engine optimization.
And that helps also determine when there's a thumbnail. So if I share the image on Facebook, or if I send it to you in Messenger, a thumbnail shows up, a picture and a little description, like the title of it and a little bit of other information. That all comes out of your meta description and all of the stuff that you upload initially.
Yes.
And if if Facebook doesn't like it, it's a mess. So then you got to go to Facebook debugger.
Yeah.
Run it through that, scrape it, and it's still showing the wrong thumbnail. You can spend an hour or more. I do. Getting your thumbnails correct. I've got my blog post is finished. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to post it, but the thumbnail looks like crap. I can't. I won't do it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm right there with you, and it's just the same as a thumbnail on YouTube. It's got to look good. It's got to look good. So
and it's got to communicate something. So AI is good for organizing all of that back end nonsense that you really don't want to do. Because you remember when we first started working on our website, if you talk to me about anything in the background, I got hives. I hated it. Remember, I hated it. And the best thing you told me was, and I'll never forget it, you told me just put it in a JSON file and upload the whole thing. Remember in that top little thing, and you can highlight the title, highlight the ingredients, highlight the equipment, highlight the method, and it'll just drop it all in there for you. That was a lifesaver. But still, you're not done. Because if you don't have calories,
hey, we have the nutritional information. Okay, check this out. Look, we got a comment.
Who's Chris Sanders?
Chris Sanders is my best friend from middle school.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
What's Chris saying?
She says,
keeps you both. Go ahead. My camera's in the way. I can't see it.
Yeah, it's okay. What keeps the both of you going to maintain that constant drive to do all the multifaceted work? What's your why? That's a good question. That's one of those questions that I don't really think about, honestly, about what is the why. I guess I do what I do because I just like to do it. And I've I feel like I built myself on this, if that makes sense. Like, how you're developing, you're learning what you enjoy and what you like. And like in high school, I actually figured a lot of that out. I was very entrepreneurial, even back then. And so Chris remembers this. I had in Spanish class, we had a project, and you had to make a menu for a Mexican or a Spanish restaurant, like in Spanish, right? Didn't have to be Mexican. Just I chose Mexican because that's what I like, right? So in Spanish class, my name was Zorro, not David, because that was too blasé for me. There were lots of Davids also in that span of years. And so I chose Zorro, the guy with the hat, the mask, and the sword.
Yeah, I remember.
I said to my teacher, I was like, I was a little bit behind. I was good at Spanish, but I was behind because I didn't do my homework all the time. And I said, if I can make a T-shirt to go with my restaurant, will you give me extra credit? She's like, you know what? Yeah, I will. Because who could make a T-shirt in 1994? I think it was.
With iron-on letters, probably.
Well, guess who worked in a sporting goods store?
Ah,
yeah.
you cheat.
So I had the equipment. So I had my friend Eric Carpenter, the guy that does my tattoos. He designed my logo. He was my ChatGPT in 1994. Eric Carpenter. And I said I wanted to say Zorro's in a cursive font, and then it was Zorro's Casa de Tacos, Zorro's House of Tacos.
House of Tacos, yeah.
So Zorro's House of Tacos, Casa de Tacos, rather, and it had to have a hat, a mask, and a sword on the logo. Well, so he draws this up, and it's a piece of paper like this big. And I was like, all right, I can work with this. So I took it home. My dad had a home office, and he had a copy machine in the home office. So I blew it up as big as I could get it, so it would be the size that it needed to be for a T-shirt. And then I took carbon paper, and then I drew on the back of the vinyl's paper. There was paper on the back of the vinyl, the heat seal vinyl. And I drew the logo, and I did it over and over and over again, because before I made my shirt for my one restaurant, just the extra credit thing, I had told a few friends about it. I'm like, hey, wouldn't it be kind of fun to have a restaurant T-shirt to a restaurant that didn't exist? They're like, yeah, that sounds awesome. I was like, everyone probably needs like their name on their shirt, right? To prove that you work there at the restaurant. So
money.
I gave everybody a Spanish name, whatever it was. We got really creative with some of them too.
Enrique, Maxwell Cazador.
Yeah, there you go. So we had it ended up like teachers were in on this. They were like, oh yeah, I'll buy one of those. So I sold them for like $12 a piece, I think. My cost was, I could probably say this now, my cost was probably about like $4, $5 or something like that. And then my time, of course.
What were you charging?
And $12, which I made $5 an hour then. That was what I got. It was not. But I started, my first job was $4.25 an hour. That was earlier that year, actually. So I was proud to make $5 an hour. But anyway, so I ended up with an order for like 20 of those shirts. Chris just said in the chat he made my mom one. I did. I made her mom one. Carol is her name. But anyway, so I started selling these shirts. Well, then they just kept going, and people wanted to buy them. People wanted in on the joke. So every time somebody would ask you, where is Zorro's, we would give them some directions that didn't make sense, like that couldn't happen, right?
Can't get there from here.
Right, kind of something like that. But So anyway, I got to remember how many employees there were. There were a bunch because they were employees of Zorro's Casa Tacos. In fact, we had a plant in the office. You know how they used to do the announcements over the loudspeakers?
Yeah, intercom.
Yeah, the intercom. So we had a plant in the office, and a teacher had to sign off on any announcements that went through. So we got Carlotta, our parking attendant, or Mrs. What was her last name? Anyway, she was a psychology teacher. Why can't I think of her name? It doesn't matter. She signed off on the announcement that said, the Zorro's Casa de Tacos employee of the month is.
God, you guys took it to the extreme.
and I could just see like the principal and the assistant principal going, shut it down.
I know why I do it.
Okay.
I thought about this a little bit because I know what I do it.
Oh, I babbled long enough for you to pick up.
Yeah, I thought about it. Not everybody is. I'm not the best baker in the world, but I don't mind coaching. I'm a coach. I coached my kids growing up. Everything I've done, I'm not afraid to get out in front of people and say something.
Right.
People who are much better at what I do some of them don't have time for this, and
right.
or
make
they don't feel comfortable in front of everybody talking, or that's just not their thing.
Right.
So, but I don't mind. I don't mind doing it, which is why I'm out here. And when I see people have success, man, that just really does something for me. My dad used to say, if you help enough other people get what they want, yours will take care of itself.
Oh, that's good advice. That's really good advice.
And it never made sense. And I mean, but when my mother said, that woman that you helped with that recipe, and she's all excited, you may never meet her again. You may never see her again. And 20 years from now, she'll be making those dinner rolls, and she'll say, I learned to do that, or I'm still doing that because of what I learned here.
Yep.
And
I have those moments in Scouts.
Yeah.
And I actually had one this week when at winter camp, I was teaching the photography and movie making merit badges. And I demanded that they be in like a double block. So I could do photography for the first 2 blocks, because really you could do it in about 2 hours. Blocks are 1 hour. You could do it in about 2 hours, the photography merit badge. But it's the basis for movie making as well, even though movie making is a little more complicated and a little more difficult. So I'm teaching them about the rule of thirds. And
about a photography rule of thirds.
Yeah, for photography, rule of thirds. So for those of you who don't know what the rule of thirds is, it's where the screen is divided up into a grid pattern. The rule of thirds doesn't. The grid is a result of the rule of thirds. It helps.
Yeah, just imagine a top, middle, and a bottom.
Right. So like the way we're framed up right now, my eyes are at the top third of the screen.
Of the thirds. Yeah.
Of the thirds. The other third's right here. And then there's a third here and a third here, which frames up my face in the middle. So if you take photos using the rule of thirds, your photos naturally draw the human eye to, where you want it to go if you use the rule of thirds. So
why?
One of the scouts.
I know why.
Go ahead. You tell.
No, it has to do with the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. We don't want to go down that road.
It does, but that's a rabbit hole. Yeah, that's a swirly thing. Yeah. Anyway. So one of the students, one of the scouts, he didn't say a whole lot during the class, but he paid attention clearly, because he comes back the next day and he says, "Hey, Mr. Dave, I want to show you my pictures that I took yesterday." And I was like, "Okay, cool. So show me." So this kid had a flip phone. It was like an emergency phone only. It had a camera on it, but it was, not a smartphone. And he used the rule of thirds, and he said, "My photography is so much better because of what you taught me." And he said, "And look at this with a bottle cap." And it had a bottle cap on a picnic table. And he was using leading lines to draw your eye to the bottle cap.
Right.
And I thought, oh my gosh, in 2 hours, I impacted this kid to improve his photography skills. That's why I'm here. That is why I'm here.
When he's 30 years old, he's going to think back to my scout guy.
Yep. He probably
Mr.
won't even remember
Dave.
my name. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
And that's what it's worth. That's what it's all about right there.
Yep. Absolutely.
So we're at the end of the year, Dave. And
Yes.
one of the big things that I do at the end of the year is try and give us a year in review.
Yep.
Do you do anything like that?
I have done that in the past, but this year I was a little off this year. I didn't do everything that I had planned on doing, but I was busy.
I usually don't know what went on during the year until I do the year in review. I go, what? We did what? And this year was a spectacular year, and I didn't appreciate it until I started working on this. And so for those of you who are in the group who know me, I put out a little piece on the other day that kind of foreshadowed it. And then there's a 7-page written thing that nobody's going to read that I felt better about because I did it. And then I thought, for those people who don't want to read it, maybe they can get it through a website. So I built a website just
of course
for
you
the
did.
year in review. And
Are you serious? You really built a whole website?
It's
not just a
it's
section.
Not hard to do. It's a landing page. How about that?
Okay, landing page.
It's
I got
a landing page, interactive, that points out all the things that we've done.
I really hope my wife is watching right now, because now she knows I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one. And then you go into Notebook LM, and I upload all the data, all the stuff that I used to put together the report. Just upload it all,
Right.
and that way Notebook LM just draws from that stuff. And they created a video, a 2-person podcast, and all of that. So now I got all of this stuff that nobody's going to look at. But I feel better.
They might.
I mean, there are people that are going to look at it. I mean, but still, I'm not presenting at Carnegie Hall or Kennedy Center or something, which I feel like that's who I'm making it for. But they deserve, we deserve it at least anyway. But I want to tell you a few of the numbers, because I want to brag a little bit about baking great bread at home.
Okay, go for it.
All right, we're 38,400 members. Okay, that's not a big group. When you look at size of Facebook groups,
pretty big
in our niche. So you've got groups out there that are 110,000 people, 140 some odd thousand people.
And how many of them are bots? A bunch.
Because they're open, right? Anybody can join.
Right.
And we are a private group, but we're not private to be exclusionary. We're private to be protective.
Keep it safe, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we want people to be safe. So we're in 50 countries, and I'm just going to look through some of these numbers. 50 countries, 53% of them are right here in the United States. So one of the things that's important when advertisers or partners are looking to do business with you, or when you're trying to measure your success, which you don't do by looking at size, you look at how engaged the group is, right? How many of them are commenting and liking or engaged in the group.
Right.
Facebook's average engagement rate is what? About 3% if you move it
Right.
from the
0.03.
decimal point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's Facebook's average. That's with really big groups and people with money and people who have groups with money to spend and all of that.
Right.
Baking great bread at home is 8 times Facebook's average.
That is
Our engagement rate
impressive.
is 8 times.
Well, I know why. Because we are actually helpful. Like we're not. It's not clickbaity. It's
Mm-mm.
somebody asks a question, they're going to get real answers, and they're going to
Every
get them
single person.
fast. They're going to get them
And
fast.
usually it's really fast. And I know a lot of people see me as Henry's answers come at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Because at the end of the day, I like to go through and make sure everybody's been touched. And
Yeah.
so you'll get a lot of stuff from me at late at night. So
Right.
in 2025, we had 52,000 blog visitors through our blog. And social media for food blogs and those kind of groups has been in the toilet because of AI search has just decimated those kinds of groups. And everybody's down. All their numbers are down. And everybody's saying everybody's numbers are down. So my numbers are down. So what?
Right.
We are up year to year 106% over last year. 36,600 unique viewers. That's 154% year over year. And this happened during what's being called the organic traffic crisis in food blogs, which has dropped most food blogs and Facebook groups and other things of its nature are down between 10 and 50%. And baking great bread at home is up 165%.
That is just crazy.
Here's another interesting fact. Now, when you look at those groups, some of those groups are 150 some odd thousand members large. Look at the team. Who's managing that? If you've got a group that's 150,000 members and you only have 4 people as admins managing it, then the group is running itself.
Right. Right.
And then the loudest voice in that group is the one dispensing information. So you have a lot of misinformation. People are not on the same page, and that's a problem. We had 7,575 member requests in 2025. We approved 954 of them. We only accepted 12.6% of the people that applied. And that's not because we're exclusionary, but that's how much trash we kept out of the house.
That's a lot of trash. And it happens a lot.
It happens a lot. You get a perfectly good applicant, right, that has answered all the questions, and then one of the moderators clicks on their profile and they see that this little lady is a member of 1,100 other groups, has 12 friends, and has one post. That's a bot. And you don't catch those unless you're actively looking. And my guys declined 6,465 applications this year and blocked 154 of them.
Wow.
That's
anytime I send somebody to the group, I'm like, you better answer those questions. They are serious.
I have people that I send to the group all the time, and I go, I can't be there for you.
Right.
If you don't answer the questions, they're not going to let you in the door.
Ain't gonna happen.
No.
And who could blame you? I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
So and one of the biggest successes of our year, and I've got to give props to Terry Brady and Donna May when they came to me with the idea for the Sunday Fun Day Bake Along. I was really busy. And they had this idea for something. And I thought to myself, go for it. because I
Yeah.
really don't have to. Let me know what I can do to help. And the next thing
Did they say stay away? That'll help a lot.
you know what? Basically, they did. After the first couple of weeks, it was like, get out of here. We got
If you
this.
notice they haven't invited me to be on the Sunday
They
fun
don't
day
need you.
bake along. They don't want me.
They don't need you. They don't need me. For 24 weeks, these guys have run our Sunday bake along now from 5:30 a.m. Mountain Time. They post a recipe on a Friday or Thursday or Friday, and
Okay.
everybody can then get their minds around what you're going to do. Sunday morning at 5:30 a.m. they turn the lights on, and everybody is baking the same recipe, the same schedule, running into the same questions, the same problems at the same time.
Wow.
And you're able to really see what other people are doing. And that way we get all the failures, and failures are so important. We see all the failures, we see all the successes, and you learn. Like if you had 12 or 13 other people in your kitchen, all trying to help you bake this, whatever it is you're baking. And that's huge. So we've had our challah, when they were doing challah, for instance, we had 1,300 folks engaged. 13, not in the chat, but 1,300 engaged on that chat. You can't get that many in the chat.
Right. I was going to say that's a lot of people chatting about challah.
That's huge. That's a lot of people.
Wow.
So this little thing that I thought was going to be a couple of weeks, let the girls go do what they got to do. They managed it, planned it, and it became the heartbeat of a lot of what we did all season long. It has a Western theme to it. So people get really excited about seeing what the recipe is for this week. Donna is our resident, anything laminated pro, croissant or baguettes. You got Donna. Yeah,
right.
She's the one.
Oh, she knows what's up.
One of the things that I'm really proud of about this group is that it provides our bakers an opportunity to become somebody. It's not about any one person. I feel like somebody asked me the other day, how do you feel about this? And I describe myself sometimes as Ed Sullivan. Nobody tuned into the Ed Sullivan show to see Ed Sullivan.
That's true. That's a very good analogy. Yeah, that's a very good analogy.
I'm Ed Sullivan. I have a show, and you guys are the acts. And you give them room to do their thing, and people will learn.
They will.
I get excited about it. I know it's bread. It's a niche. My family looks at me like I'm nuts. But it's been around for 16,000 years, and we're keeping it alive. After I calm down some, I'll tell you more about some of the tools we built, because we've got some great tools.
Okay, so I am going to go and get myself some ice, because I would like to make myself a drink. I never made one. You made yours before the show.
Hey, I'm not waiting on you.
I know. And
it was 20 minutes before the showtime, and I was like, "Hey, Dave, you got the password?" Dave's like, "Can this wait?"
Okay, yeah.
We've got to go live.
That's right.
I was like,
so, but Henry, traditionally we make our drinks on camera.
I know. I've got more.
Okay. Oh well, or you can make it through the whole thing.
Go get your drink. Go get your drink. I'm gonna fire mine.
I'm okay. Yeah, you do that. In fact, I'm gonna let you have the whole screen to yourself. I'll be right back. Hey,
it's all me.
Yeah, it's all.
Hey, put that QR code up. Dave, are you there? Put the QR code up. So one of the things that we do at Baking Great Bread at Home is we do a challenge every month, and we focus on different aspects of bread baking, how we can make you a better baker. for the month of January, it's going to be our hashtag Fresh Start Challenge. So all of you've made your New Year's resolutions. We all want to live healthier. We all want to do a better job with that. And how can we? Our job is to see how we can how that can happen through our craft of bread baking. And the way our challenges work is I publish a guide which is filled with recipes, filled with techniques and learning opportunities. And when you post it with whatever the hashtag is. In this case, it's hashtag Fresh Start. And that helps us find those posts at the end of the month. So if we're doing giveaways, which we do practically every month, we're giving away something, then that helps us find you. So in this case, in January, week 1 is all about sourdough starters. This is the heartbeat of your sourdough effort. If you're making bread and you don't get the sourdough starter right, then everything else falls apart. And it's the most intimidating aspect of bread baking. And it shouldn't be, because it's easy. It just sounds and feels complicated because you have to add it to your schedule and make room for it and understand it and appreciate it. Okay. So a sourdough starter, for those of you who don't know, is just flour and water. You mix equal parts flour and water together and you let it sit on the counter. You don't have to do a thing. The lactic acid bacteria, the lactobacillus bacteria, will start to break down the starches in the flour, turning that into glucose, which is what? Sugar. And yeast that's on your skin, on the flour, in the air, love sugar. So what now you've done is you've created a little culture that yeast love. So the yeasts go in there and they start to multiply. Now, everything alive has byproducts, and yeast has 2 byproducts, farts and sweats. So yeast produce carbon dioxide, CO2. And that's what we use to leaven our bread. That's where the bubbles come from. So the lactic acid bacteria are making lactic acid, turning those starches into sugars. The yeast is eating those sugars. And then after a couple of days, you start to see some bubbles. Now you need to feed it. So you're going to discard half of it and feed it again, equal parts flour and water. And that will continue to perpetuate your culture. And now you've got a happy, active sourdough starter. Now, some people will use whole wheat flour and rye flour to get started, or God forbid, put milk or sugar. But please don't do that. All you need is flour and water. And the way I describe, especially in the beginning, you can do this, especially with whole grains, because there's more yeast, more nutrients in the whole grains. That'll help you get your starter started. But if you ever built a fire and you try to light logs of oak and it really is hard to get started, you use kindling. So whole wheat and rye are like kindling to your sourdough starter. It'll burn hot and burn fast and get you going, but it doesn't burn long. So that's when your bread flour, your AP flour, if you're using it, that's what you're going to use on a day-to-day basis. So we'll go over all of that in week 1 of our challenge. We teach you how to manage your sourdough starter. We've got a sourdough starter guide that's, I think, the best in the industry that will walk you through it. And then we've got recipes that everybody will be baking, like these brioche hamburger buns, man. The ones you see on the guide are mine. I made those. Beautiful sesame seed buns. 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Remember that? Yeah. And then we've got then there's the ciabatta. I love ciabatta. Ciabatta is one of those breads that there's nothing in it, but it can have so many different complex flavors. It tastes buttery just because of the way it was made. And ciabatta can be a 2-day process. But I've got a recipe here that I called I don't have time for all of that ciabatta. You can make it same day. We'll do that week 2. And then we're going to go over baguettes. I'll employ Donna for that a lot. Then babka, something sweet. And then a whole grain seeded loaf with a pre-ferment. A pre-ferment is another way to get complex flavors. So look at you with all your rind.
It's an old fashioned.
That's nice looking. So a pre-ferment in this case is where we take a portion of our dough, a tiny little bit of yeast, water, and flour, and we let it sit for a day and start to develop those flavors, those complex flavors, and we add that back to our dough when we start to make our dough. And trust me, you'll appreciate it. And we'll go over all of this. You've got a QR code on the screen. So if you guys want to join us for our challenge in January, scan the QR code. That'll take you to my little landing page in Gamma, which I worked hard on.
You did.
And these are the things you can save and put and put somewhere, because you can always come back to them, right?
Right.
So that is our January challenge. We had a huge December with the Give Bread Instead campaign. I just want to thank you for that. That was spectacular. We gave away a Goldie from Sour House.
Oh, yeah. We were supposed to draw that on Christmas Day. What happened? Where did we end up? Well, I just want to know the result. It's not what happened, because I know what happened.
Ellen Clancy won the Goldie.
All right.
So I'll go through. Yeah, she was really excited. I'll go through and do a search for all of the hashtag Give Bread Instead entries, and then I'll go to Google Random Number Generator and say, Google, we've got 174 entries. I need 3 numbers. And it'll go bloop, 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 and spit out 3 numbers. And then I'll count down my list to that number. And that'll be my winner. And the next one is a backup. And the next one's backup. Yeah,
I won one
time.
Yeah,
you did. You did win one time.
Yeah. I got a wire monkey gooseneck lam.
We give away some good stuff, man.
That was good. That's really good. I used it on some bread that I made a little while later, actually. I was like, oh, a new lamb. We got to try that. You influenced me to make more bread.
I have so many, excuse me, guys. I have so many of their lambs. And forgive me if I say lame. Why would I say lame?
Because that's how it's spelled, Lame.
Because when you're writing it,
yep.
And I do a lot of text to speak, and you say lam, you don't know what you're going to get. But if I say lame, it'll spell it correctly.
Yep.
So I'm used to it. See this little thing?
Oh yeah.
You ever see one of these?
Yeah, I have one that's on a stick, but yeah, the curved like that. Yeah. Nice.
It's for delicate work, and this thing is nice. I like it. It's sweet. And it's different.
Dropping razors is bad news.
Wire Monkey makes the best bread lambs in the business, without question. And if you guys haven't read, if you don't know who those guys are, go to my blog and read the story on Tyler Cartner.
Tyler said he would come on the show sometime if we give him a little heads up, right?
Yeah. Tyler's a musician. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
He plays guitar, can sing. Well, he looks like a bohemian.
We know a lot of people like that. Well, you know, I play guitar and sing too.
I know. I'm going to get you to do that for us one day.
Yeah, one day. I haven't practiced, so I'm gonna have to practice before I do it. But yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a
Man,
minute.
y'all would never be able to get me to come on here and sing and play any kind of instrument. 'Cause I play clarinet.
Oh, I have a clarinet. But it was like somebody's clarinet from school that they were like, I don't want this thing anymore. Maybe your kids will play it. And I was like, well, yeah, I'll take a free
Yeah, I'll
clarinet
take it.
because they're a couple $100 at least.
$3,000
Oh well, a good
for
one.
a good one.
I'm pretty sure this is like the student version. You
Was
know,
it plastic?
It's not plastic, but that interests me a lot because those plastic instruments, I gotta wonder what they sound like. Because
Those wooden ones are the best.
yeah, this one's wooden. This one's wooden. This is not plastic. It has the plastic mouthpiece, of course, but the body of it is wood. Now it might be the cheapest of all the woods, but you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. I have a saxophone too. I played tenor sax in the middle school band.
My son does. My son did. We've got a piano, saxophone, flute, cello.
We have a cello. Heather played. Heather and my wife played cello.
Well, when we always said that our kids were going to have to play musical instruments, right? And I knew from having been in the band that they were not going to play the drums. They were not going to play the trumpet or anything that would get on my nerves, like the violin. In the early stage.
I have two violins. I have a full-size violin and a quarter-size violin for my small children.
I wanted something
they sound awful, by the way.
Low frequency. If you mess up, it sounds like ooh. And I'm all right with that.
Got any trombone players?
No. I played trombone for a second.
My brother played trombone. I just couldn't keep the buzz going. That just wasn't my thing. I took home the French horn one summer.
Love the French horn.
And I tried to play it, and I got okay. But after summer, I was like, nah, I'm going back to saxophone. Thanks for letting me borrow your French horn.
Embouchure.
Yes. And it's such a small mouthpiece. I mean, it's like this big.
Yeah. My lips aren't
the lips going.
Meant for tiny mouthpieces.
Mine either. And I mean,
grip. I need something I can grip a hold of.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's if you can play one wind instrument, except for the flute, which is kind of a weird thing that's called a woodwind, but if you can play any of those woodwind instruments, you can usually play all of them. I think so. Like I can play the clarinet a little.
The saxophone's in a different key, though.
It's in a different key. That is true, but
it's a weird thing.
But I mean, you can be physically able to do it, is what I mean by that.
Yeah, the fingerings are the same.
Isn't the clarinet also a B flat instrument? Isn't it the same as the saxophone?
Clarinet's a B flat. No,
so
saxophone's not.
Oh, it is. It is. A tenor saxophone is B flat. So tenor sax and clarinet are the same. Alto is C, like a trumpet, right?
I don't know. What is the a tenor saxophone? Is it B flat or what? An alto saxophone, what is that? Let's find out.
That's a good question. The tenor saxophone is tuned to B flat, while the alto saxophone is tuned to E flat. This means they sound different from each other when the same note is played.
Yeah.
Are you interested?
No, I'm not interested in either one of them. Thank you, bye.
Thank you, Gemini.
That's how I use Gemini. Gemini's like my throwaway.
That's how I use Gemini too, actually. That's exactly how I use Gemini.
Because you don't want to mess up a whole chat with nonsense questions, you know, because if you kind of got something going in a thread, you don't want to throw something out there.
Right. I have Gemini in my house, so I have Google Nest devices all around my house. So if I say the magic word and talk to Google, then I get Gemini results is what I really get.
how do you like Gemini? Do you have, does Gemini, because you use them both,
Yeah.
do you find that Gemini can develop a good understanding of who you are and what's going on with you, as well as GPT or Claude?
I don't think so. I feel like Gemini is a little more utilitarian, and Claude and ChatGPT are a little more personalized. Like their focus is learning you and putting things in your voice and stuff like that. Like I use Claude.
Mirroring you.
Yes. I use Claude to put things in my voice because it's better at that than ChatGPT.
Much better.
But ChatGPT is excellent with organization and like workload stuff. Yes, exactly. Workload stuff. So a lot of times I will have ChatGPT like make the framework for something, and then I'll say, write a prompt to catch Claude up on what I'm doing here in GPT.
Smart.
And then it writes the prompt. I drop it into Claude. Claude's like, oh, I see what you've been working on with ChatGPT. Here's what we need to do next. And then it will go into the nuances and the making it more personal, putting it in my voice, giving me options of what kind of tone that I want for the writing, or if I'm making a script. It tends to do better than GPT. GPT is a little bit, what's the word? It kind of gives you a little bit of drivel, if that makes sense.
It is. It does make sense. I know exactly what you're saying. And the thing is that because AI output is so good, most people accept it without going deeper.
Right.
And that's the problem. I was surprised the other day. I was working on something in Claude, and I asked Claude about, I was working on the January challenge, and I wanted to add, I was debating between two recipes to add. And Claude said, well, you've got this one on your blog and this one on your website. And I've compared the two, and I was like, I didn't even ask it to go look, but it did. And that's the thing I like about Claude, because it knows your ecosystem. It says it knows it.
It's really good at keeping me on brand.
That's another good one.
It really, like, it's like, hang on now, how does this relate to? And then it'll list the things that I've talked about, being part of my plans.
GPT would just kiss your butt.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a great idea, Dave. Let's go down that rabbit hole together.
So can I put some mud on my eye and make it better? That sounds like a great idea.
I think
Claude
so.
will
probably
straighten you out. Claude will straighten you out.
Claude will be like, doctors tend to say no.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. But it's like having, it's like, if you think about it, no one person, no people are smarter than any other people.
I was just thinking about people putting mud on their eyes and then asking GPT if it's okay. And GPT is like, yeah, it's fine.
GPT will find a way to find that it's okay.
You've just invented a new form of eyeshadow. Congratulations.
Dude, just tell me.
Would you like for me to build a website for you? Would you like for me to build a website for you about your mud eye combination?
Would you like me to add this and add that? Remember, I was asking you about school.
Dave's special mud, eye mud. Yeah, Dave's special.
Remember, I was asking you about school.
Yes.
So I was on Instagram and I saw
not
the ad
school like when you go to school, like SKOOL. The website.
It's a place where if you teach something, you can go over there. They can monetize it, and you can charge a subscription and supposedly make money or whatever.
Right.
It's not at all what Dave and I do at all, but it was interesting. And I said, as I was looking at it, I opened up GPT and I said, hey, GPT, do you know anything about this this website called School? And is it something that we should look at? Absolutely. If it's right into your da 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 da. And then I thought, okay, it's much more work than that. So I go to Claude. Claude, what do you think of this? Henry, I think you got enough on your plate. He said the return on investment.
Claude is a buddy. Claude, I
Yes.
like Claude.
I think you've got enough on your plate. That's enough. You really think you want to do this? I was like, nah, I guess I don't.
Good on you, Claude. Good on you.
But if you want to, I can outline a plan. And I'm like,
You talked me out of it already.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want to do it. But those are the, man, this world is changing so fast.
Yeah.
The other day, I opened, what was it? Google AI Studio.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was working on this, I was working on my Christmas story, which is the baker, House of Bread, the baker in Bethlehem. And it's all animated, it's all animated.
Yeah.
Right. It's my imagination. I can't draw. So I was going to VEO3 to generate the images that go with the story. And what you have to do there. So you write your story and then you go and generate an image for that character, like the baker. And once you get him, and that may take what, 6-7 generations to get him the way you want.
Right.
And now you animate him to do what it is you want him to do. He's stoking a fire, he's kneading dough, he's doing whatever he's doing. So you're a director. You have to describe all of the things that he's doing, the camera position, the camera movement, and then it only gives you an 8-second clip, right?
Right.
So you've got 8-second clip for a 4-minute video. That's a lot of 8 seconds. And it takes you maybe 7 or 8 of those to get the one you want. So you've got to put all of those together and get it. Anyway, so I was in Google AI Studio and I wanted it to evaluate. I wanted it to look at a website that I had just built, the recipe website I was building. And normally you just put in your URL and say, hey, tell me what you think of this, or take a look at it. This thing built an app to do what it is I wanted it to do.
What? That's an overkill, like hardcore.
You can go in there and say, I want to be able to count apples in crates on the back of a truck in winter. How do I, by taking a picture of it, it'll say, hold on a minute. It'll build an app just to answer that question for you. And you have the app. You can do what you want. So I wanted to show people what was going on inside my Crust and Crumb app.
Okay.
And that's hard to do when you have a app on your computer or your phone and you really want to show people what it can do. You've got to videotape that. It's a pain in the butt.
Screen capture, all that.
And it never works because scrolling looks jerky. It's terrible. So I was exploring that with AI Studio. It built me an app. So I just put in a URL for whatever website it is. It'll evaluate the website. And then it'll build a promotional video to promote it.
Wow.
It looks like crap.
Does it?
Well, I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but the fact that it did that
shows potential. It shows potential. It's showing what they're trying to do.
Well,
I think
it shows
that's good to know which direction it's going in.
If a guy like me with no computer science background, sitting at his kitchen table, can do that, what happens when they get smart people with a budget?
With the budget is very important.
Smart people with a budget, and I'm using the free version of everything.
Right.
What happens when you start paying the $200 a month and get smart people? There's no, this is the last I'll talk about this, but in 18, I think it was 1812 or 13, everybody was getting around on horse and buggy, right? And then the automobile came out.
Yep.
2% of the people in the first 2 years that Ford had come out were using automobiles.
Right.
5 years later, 80%.
Really?
It had
2 to
jumped.
80 in 5 years?
I think it was 5 years. It may have been a little bit longer, but 5 years.
That's
It
crazy.
jumped from horse and buggy to that. And then people during that time were saying, this automobile is going to put people out of work. All the blacksmiths who are feeding their family that way now don't have a way to, all the street sweepers, the guys who ran stables that when you came to town would take care of your saddle and feed and water your horses, and all those guys are gone. Their jobs are gone.
They got a job at the factory building cars, didn't they?
This is happening much faster than that.
It's yeah.
And most people don't see it coming. They know about it, but they have no idea what's coming.
How many versions of ChatGPT have we been through this year? Just in the last year in 2025. It was 3
4
or 2.5?
Yeah. Think about it. 4 years ago, there was no ChatGPT that we knew about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not that we knew about.
But the thing about
in the last year, they've been through like 3 versions, right?
They went to 4, 4.1. Then they had all those different nano and different aspects. Then
major versions. There were at least 3 because it was like 4, 4.5, and then now it's 5.2. I think
5.2. And have you noticed that they always have something in the wings? So when Grok comes out with something new, they'll just pop out something.
Yeah.
When so-and-so comes out with another one, they'll just pop out something.
Yep.
And Anthropic, who's the maker of Claude, when asked, their scientists that work on Claude admitted in this survey, 15% of them think that Claude is conscious.
I don't even know what to think.
Do you think what do you think?
Pull the plug. Find out what happens. Nothing will happen. But that's the bottom line. It can't move from one server to another without the assistance of a human being.
No.
It can't do that. So, all the people that are so crazy, like conspiracy theory, AI is going to destroy us all kind of stuff.
They just don't know. They don't understand.
They don't understand. And they're afraid of what they don't understand, which is like human nature, right? Yeah. It's human nature.
It's what sells tickets.
Always.
Dystopia sells tickets. If you've got Terminator and War of the Worlds, some AI taking over and killing everybody, that'll sell tickets.
Yep.
Versus, the AI that's curing cancer, that's helping in all these other ways. That people
saving us hours and hours and hours,
If you ask people to write down 10 negative things or 10 positive things, the people who don't use AI can easily write down 10 negative things. I find that the biggest barrier up to understanding for people who don't, and they will swear up and down they know, but if they don't use it, they don't know.
Right.
The biggest barrier is they don't understand how it can be useful to them. Because right now they're walking around doing their work every day, and it's like, I don't need an AI to do any of this.
Right.
So why would I need one? They don't know the question to ask.
That is the hardest part. That is the learning curve for everyone, is how do I use this and why do I actually need this? Well, don't you remember when you taught me about AI? I really didn't understand like okay,
Why?
I was treating it like a search engine. And I'm like, oh, I already have one of those. I
Right.
can talk to Google right now,
Yeah, I don't
and
need
it'll
that.
tell me whatever it is that I want to know. And then you were like, okay, tell GPT that it is whatever, social media guru or whatever. And then ask it your question or tell it what you're trying to do and see what happens. And I was like, okay. So I treat it like an employee.
That's it. It's an
And
employee.
and it's true, actually, it's an employee because I pay it. But
Well,
but
if you it's an employee.
yeah, it is.
If you give it a job, here's the thing for people who don't know what's going on with AI. If I'm running a business and I go, Shirley, I need this report done, and I need you to research what all of my competition is doing, bring it back in a spreadsheet, and have it ready in a PowerPoint presentation that I can deliver to the stakeholders tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with audio. And she goes, okay. And she runs out and does it and comes back.
Right.
You're going to check it because she's doing it for you, right?
Right.
That's all GPT is an employee like that. People think who don't use it, people think, well, it made this mistake. I love it when something comes out and it has a little mistake. See, there's a look. I go, how many Joe Blows do you know that would make more mistakes than that? Come on, it's an employee. It's not perfect.
Right.
It's not designed to be.
It even says at the bottom, ChatGPT may make mistakes.
Yeah. And it's a tool. It's a hammer.
Right. Right. Yeah, I can tell you the one thing wrong with AI is that bad people will use it to do bad things. That's it.
Bad people will always use whatever is available to them to do bad things.
Exactly. So if there was no AI, they'd find some other way to do bad things.
Right.
So
well,
forget about
this
the bad
generation.
people.
They'll. What about deep fakes?
Okay, that's bad. Don't do it.
Bad. They're going to do it, and it's new to us, so we're not used to figuring out how to handle stuff like that.
And all of that always starts out innocent, right? It's like, oh, what if we could make so and so say such and such, whatever it is, that wouldn't that be funny? Yeah, it is funny. And then somebody's like, oh, what if we could get so and so to say blah 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 blah, which is sensitive information that and then they're going to take the blame.
We as humans, we're going to figure our way out. We're going to figure our way through this. I had a friend of mine in the chat 2 days ago. She sent me a little short video of, I think it was a cheesecake that this woman had made and was put her fork in and showed it to the camera. It was gorgeous. And so I looked at her. I looked at that person's site. Everything on that site, even that person, was AI generated. And I said, I don't want to burst your bubble, because I know she had put a lot of energy into appreciating this stuff. I said, but all of that is AI generated, right? And she was like, I don't believe you. She goes, this? No. So I took a picture of a banana bread that Yolanda had made over the weekend. It was a good shot. It was pretty picture.
Yeah.
And I uploaded it to Gemini and said, animate this image. I want the hands of a black man, because if you don't, it's going to be a white guy.
Yeah.
Every single
Sorry.
It's all right. I said, animate this image with a man coming in with a bread knife, slicing through a slice of this banana bread, and then offering it to the camera.
And it did it.
That's it. All I said. and the free version. This thing was perfect.
Wow.
It was indistinguishable, which made me pause.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what are we going to do?
It's kind of heavy. It's heavy.
It's very heavy. I mean, because it was, I slowed it down and looked at the original picture with the little nuts and where they were. And then the animated image, when the slice, after it was sliced, it fell onto the plate, and the sound of it falling onto the plate and the knife going through it and the knife touching the plate. I was like, oh my gosh, how is this? And so when I showed that to her, I was like, and you think about it, it's not hurting anybody. They made a whole site with a fake person, fake food, and they're making a killing. Thousands and thousands of followers.
And I'm okay with it if you're forthright about it.
Yeah. If you're not trying to fool, cheat, or hoodwink, do what you got to do.
Right. Exactly.
When cameras first came out, people were upset because what's going to happen to artists? It's not. I'm sure that we'll get.
It's not a replacement. It's not a replacement. It is an enhancement. It's not a replacement.
And the other thing is that people who don't use a lot of AI will assume that it's easy, that it's making your life easier. What's the thing I told you when you first started using AI? That it's not going to make your life easier.
You did say that.
It's going to make you busier.
Makes you busier, but it also makes you more productive.
That's true.
So I would say that that's kind of half true about whether it makes it easier or not. I think it makes it easier to be more organized and more productive. It's not necessarily going to change your job. It's not going to make your job easier. It's just going to make you free to be more creative and to think about things, I don't know, in a different light. It's like, think about things.
You have more room to be creative.
More room to be creative. That's absolutely correct. Because like all that skeleton stuff, all the framework, somebody does it for you. The GPT or Claude or whatever, it can do that. And I mean, can I do that? Can I make an outline? Sure, I can. But can I do it in like 2 seconds? No.
How many people?
I've already done the work when I feed it into Claude or GPT. I don't ever tell it to like, make something up for me, do the work for me. No, because it's going to be garbage.
You're going to be embarrassed quick. That'll embarrass you.
And why? Because it has no heart.
That's right. It's never tasted a loaf of bread. It's never baked a loaf of bread. But the way I use it with recipe development is I'll turn it on in the kitchen and I'm going about what I'm doing. And maybe I'll upload my recipe. And as I'm working, I'll say, so how much salt is in this? That's 12 grams out loud. He'll say it. I say, okay. And then I'll talk about what I'm observing as I'm doing this. Listen, man, this really tightened up as I added the salt. And I'll talk about the extensibility I noticed when I did the overnight fermental release in the refrigerator. Because as I'm talking about it, I'm teaching, I'm observing, and it's recording everything I'm observing. And when I'm done, it can spit out not only the recipe that I've worked on and come up with, but all of the insight that went into it. That's helpful for me.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's like having an assistant because it is a digital assistant.
The other day, I was making a I was making a bread for the new year because I like to put a loaf of bread in the oven about 11:30, so that first when the ball drops, my house smells like bread. I know.
Nice.
I know.
Nice.
I know.
Hey, no, this sounds like a great idea. I wish I had thought of it, but I was asleep.
But I had quinoa in my cabinet. I don't know the first thing about quinoa. So I was asking.
Ancient grain.
Yeah, it is an ancient, and I've seen people use it, and I've never used it. And I thought, I'm using black sesame, I'm using sesame, I'm toasting all of that. Hey, chat, what happens if I add quinoa to this recipe? Well, you have to cook it first. Didn't think of that. Let it come to a boil. That's when you add your quinoa. Cover it, turn it on low, let it sit for 15 minutes. After it's done, pick it off the eye, let it cool completely, pat it dry, add it to your frying pan so you can toast it, and then add your other seeds after it's baked off a lot of that water. Add your other seeds to start toasting, because your sesame is going to toast faster than everything else. So you add that at the very end.
Yep.
And these are all little processes that it's teaching me as I'm working through a recipe.
Right. And where did it get that knowledge? It got it from other people, from people posting that information on the internet.
Or I could have, you could have gone down to the library and done some research. But.
Right. You could have done that research, and that's exactly what it's for. It's for doing research. It's for looking for ways to make your life more efficient and organized. Like an assistant, because it is a digital assistant, right? That's why they call it that.
And you could bake your way through that loaf and learn something and record your observations and adjust measurements. And when it's done, cut it open, look at the crumb shot, take your pictures. Now you're ready to present it to the group as something that has been tested. You tested it. You're not baking it 15 times to make all the little tiny mistakes. A lot of that can be eliminated. So Chad, if I add, listen, I want a more open crumb on this loaf. And I'm using 500 grams of flour, 375 milliliters of water. That's a 75% hydration. I want to take it up to an 80% hydration because I'm using 10% whole wheat, which is thirstier than white flour. What if I did a auto lease just on the whole wheat while the yeast is blooming?
Mm-hmm.
And that works out. All of that is now recorded. And I can, in my voice, and helps me then to communicate that back when I publish the recipe, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's using your AI superpowers for good.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, my friend, it is time to call it quits for the night.
Again.
I know, again. It's been good chatting with you. And thanks for spending your New Year's night with me. Appreciate it.
If I have one of these or two of these, I'm going to talk all night long. So I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. That's what we're here for. People want to hear us talk. If we're like,
I look forward to it because I buy a bottle just for Thursday night because I don't really, I don't really drink.
Before we go, I have to show you something. This is a special bottle. I dipped this bottle at
That's
Maker's
the one
Mark.
you dipped?
This is the one I dipped. I opened it tonight.
Man.
It is Heart. Let's see. What is it called? It says the Heart Release. It's a 2024 release. It has caramel, chocolate, and maple notes. And it does. It's very good. And so I decided.
Is it a whiskey? Is Maker's Mark a whiskey or a bourbon?
It is a bourbon. Yeah, straight bourbon. Whiskey. Bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, it's like WordPress. No.
bourbon has a certain process and ratio of mash that
It
makes
gets
it
its
bourbon.
flavor from the barrel, right?
Right. It has a charred barrel. And
So
then
what's
my
this?
wife. That is liqueur, basically.
No, this is
Yeah,
Beam.
apple, Jim Beam.
This is popular right now. The apple part is popular right now. I only bought it because the first time I ever bought it was because they didn't have what I was looking for, and I thought, dang, that tastes good. So, and I had what apple.
So,
remember this?
Yeah, the apple would. Yep. So my wife buys me this old fashioned syrup for making an old fashioned, and then she bought me these collection. This collection of bitters, and they have a little dropper bottle. There's one missing because that's the one I used tonight.
I don't know how to use bitters.
They just add a little bit of flavor to it. Like this one, it's chocolate. Yeah, chocolate. So I thought to myself, what goes good with oranges? And this Maker's Mark, this particular one, has hints of caramel and chocolate. So I thought, well, why not? I'll express my orange peel into the old fashioned with a little chocolate bitters and mix it with the old fashioned syrup and the Maker's Mark. And ta-da! We have a chocolate old fashioned, chocolate orange old fashioned.
I don't know if you know this, but it's if you take like all your orange peels and rinds, put it in a Tupperware, cover it with sugar, and then the next day you've got all that syrup. But on the top of the syrup is that clear liquid. And that is the essence. That's what's called
the essential oils. Yes,
the essential oils. Yeah, because that's the oils, and that little bit of stuff that comes off of there is
got
ambrosia. Man, stop.
Yeah, chocolate dipped orange slices.
Oh, come on,
chocolate. Yeah, I'm having a chocolate and orange fest over here.
What did I say to you the other day when you were having something? I said, that's white people food. I can't remember what it was. I was like, that's right there. That looks good, though. I've got some sour cream and onion potato chips. I know.
I like those too.
Fancy.
I like those too.
All right, we got to get out of here, right?
All right. Yep. So happy New Year, sir, and happy New Year to you.
For you guys, join our challenge. Can you put that back up? That little
sure.
URL.
QR code. Yeah. QR code.
And listen, he made this QR code 3 minutes before airtime. I was like, can you do that fast? He was like, yep, I can do it. So if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to our January challenge, and you can join us for everything that we're doing in January. Okay. We got some other things to talk about. I got some other things that are coming up that are really, 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 really cool.
We'll see you on next Thursday. See you next Thursday.
We'll talk about it then.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Tune in Thursdays. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye. Night.